Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this little interview I'm doing with one of my clients. His name is Will Kabrall. He is a member of our REMT Launch program. It is a program where we help people launch real estate marketing businesses to hit their first 10 to 30K per month online. Now, this particular interview is Will, who did 70K last month, and he's only been in the program for about 2 months. So, absolute killer. Now, this is not a pitch to REMT Launch. In fact, this YouTube channel is not just to pitch, right? It's really to share value with you guys. Because a lot of the stuff in the interview is not really talking about REMT Launch. It's talking about how he's booking appointments, how he's scaling up, how he's packing his calendar, he's using paid ads, and also how he is actually using his particular unique situation to benefit him even further. A lot of it is particular to him being a real estate agent, right? So how he's using that to compound his income and quite literally, in a quadratic fashion. So very, very high level interview, not basic stuff. So if you guys want to rewind, go ahead. If you got any questions, drop in the comments down below. Now, off to the interview. All right, guys. So I'm interviewing one of the best case studies I've seen until date. This is Will. He joined our REMT Launch program. We're got a lot in store for you guys today. Particularly his journey. What he's achieved so far, which is a big thing for all of you guys here, and also like some stuff about client acquisition and like this applies for anyone that's looking just to scale up online, whether it's a coaching business, consulting, it's agency business. We're going to talk about Will's journey. Will, introduce yourself, man. Give us a quick rundown of, what you were before joining the program and just give us a whole story. I'm interested.
Sure. Yeah. I guess if I start from the beginning, my whole online business journey is back when I was in high school, I used to do like Instagram bots. So I was helping people grow their accounts with Instagram botting, just like getting followers. And then I got into drop shipping, obviously. And then I got into like the whole social media marketing thing, just trying to build an agency. I failed like 10 different things, went to school for computer science. And then I eventually dropped out because I was just sick and tired of learning like how to build websites when I already knew how to build them. And then I got a job offering at a local agency. And this was 2018. So this was like the Tai Lopez days of social media where you actually could, you know, post things on social media and get organic reach and get leads and stuff from just Instagram photo posts. And then I joined an agency. I did a little bit of work with them on growing their paid because I learned how to do drop shipping. So then I took that skill set into the agency world, and nobody was doing Facebook ads at the time. Like if you did Facebook ads in 2017, 2018, you were getting really good. It was a blue market at that time. And yeah, from there, I grew that agency with my boss. Eventually, I was working in the huge and like the agency space with companies like Canada Drives, finance companies like TD. I even did work for the CRA. So a lot of cool jobs that I did. And after that, the company got acquired. It didn't actually go through because this was when COVID happened. We lost half our clientele. People got poached. It just was a messy show. And then my friend said he needed leads. He was a realtor. And I was like, oh, let me pitch this guy. I can start my own agency now. And then he's actually so good at sales. So he pitched me to become his business partner. And I got my license, got into real estate. I hated doing sales. Like I sucked at sales. And then the rest of it is kind of history. Like the first year I did my lead generation for him in real estate. He did 37 deals with the program. And even me, I've done about like 15, I think, throughout the past 2 years. But we found that I make more money when I'm doing marketing. So here I am. One of my friends, Jibs, he showed me your program on Instagram. He's like, hey, you should check this out. And I was like, oh, I probably know how to do that. I probably don't need it. And then I thought about it. And then I kind of was like, you know what? If this guy's already gotten the blueprint and he's actually helping other people, maybe I should just use that and leverage myself and jump into it. So the rest is history. I joined the program. I think you have an amazing blueprint. I think there's a lot of value in here. And clearly I took it and got a lot of stuff out of it. So that's kind of, if I could summarize my journey, it's just like I'm an online marketing guy. You can see like the Russell Brunson books in the back. I love it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too because you said you would never like sales, and then I think the other day you were telling me like you're closing at like 70% or something, which is we'll get into that shortly too. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so I think you were also mentioning too that one of the big things you was actually working in like the trenches as an agent. So like I know that a big part of your partner and your team, the success was like you guys sort of solved everything for your own business before getting into helping other people. Walk me through a little bit more of that process. Like, what kind of stuff were you guys running for each other, and particularly like how did that go? Like, just walk me through that, because I think a lot of people are probably interested, especially the real estate audience watching.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of my conversations are with. Like I build really, really good rapport with people when I meet agents because I know I am the avatar, right? I'm selling to my own avatar. And my journey in real estate was that here I was a guy who I have a lot of computer software development background. So I know how to build product. Like I'm really good with systems, Zapier, I'm a wizard with all that kind of stuff. I'm really good at marketing too. I can generate leads in pretty much any industry you throw me in. But here's my fatal crutch, whereas like I just can't get in front of people. I can't convert strangers into friends and clients. So here go my business partner Sagar, amazing at sales and doesn't know how to do any other stuff. So it was like a perfect fit. So when we started in our office, we were doing deals in the first month, and then people were walking around saying like, "How are you guys doing this? What's going on?" And it really is just that fit of like, I know you mentioned this a lot in your content about product marketing and sales, is when you can create when you can bridge that gap between all three, I think that's where you unlock your crazy income potential. And even if you just know two, your income potential is really, really insane. So I think realtors, when they see a program like this, there's actually a huge benefit to yourself because if you have a gap in the marketing, a program like yours will solve it because you basically teach the product and the marketing.
Oh man,
So
yeah.
if an agent wants to learn what that is, your program is really a guide on how to do it for themselves, and then they can reduplicate that, which they should do because if you're an agent and you want to not if you want to sell houses for the rest of your life, you can go ahead and do that. But the ultimate goal is really to fire yourself and keep climbing up that chain, right? So you can replicate yourself. And that's what I love about your program is it really goes in depth into that marketing and product side of things. And if you're an agent who knows how to sell already, then like
Yeah.
what's left to do, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, I do want to sort of get into that too. I know that the people that watch this video, like there might be some people that are in the SMMA space or agency space. And, we'll get into that shortly of like how to get clients, because then, you really master that part. But for the people that are watching this right now, they're like probably real estate agents, right? And like, I think fundamentally, real estate agents, we're just entrepreneurs, right? Like you just want to make money, and you want to look at the best vehicle, right? So if you can look at a vehicle that can not only A, benefit your own business, but be, like how you can actually make other money like sitting at home. And I think who doesn't want to work from home and make money instead of going out? It's a perfect fit. I think the other thing that we didn't even touch on is I know we have some of our clients doing this, but like people do, use this kind of service to do agent attraction. I'm not sure if you looked into that, but like we got some of our folks in our higher level programs like Renegade, and like even some of the people in EAS, like they're getting licensed now, and like they're using it to do agent attraction because the way I've always looked at it is like, like if you think about it from an entrepreneur, right? There's linear income and there's a quadratic income. And then like for the longest time, I've always focused on linear up until like, just recently. And I was like, okay, 5 or 10 years from now, of course, like I'll have a lot of money, but I want something that just continuously grows with enterprise value on its own. And that's when I started looking into this whole like, downline model. And I was like, if you are positioned as a person with status and expertise, you are already at the forefront of traction. Like you're going to be, killing it, because it's not a coincidence that the people that are the biggest agent attractors at brokerages like EXP and, Real Broker is one of them. There's probably other models coming up soon. They're actually coaches and consultants, right? It's, sort of a clear thing to note there. So have you ever thought about that? Getting into that game?
Oh yeah. So at the time recording this, I am with a traditional brokerage, but I've found that like a lot of realtors will know this too, is that 2023 is one of those years where you're seeing this mass exodus of agents shifting towards that model because the thing that REMC fulfills is exactly what a lot of agents are tired of, is that you go to a brokerage and you don't really get as much support as you want, right? You don't get leads, you don't get the training. But the thing about these incentivized downline models from companies like EXP and Real is they're actually building incentive in that, you bring people in and you want to train them. You want them to be good. You want them to be amazing, because if they end up doing well, you're going to get some kickback on every single person who does well. So I have been thinking a lot about this. And I think right now, like you and everyone who's in this space of real estate training, lead generation, we're on like the brink of a big shift where this is going to become the norm. And I think people right now who kind of take up that market share of providing the coaching, providing the lead generation. There's even this morning, I had a call with a guy from Ontario who big team. He's doing over 300 deals a year. Um, he is really looking at building this attraction model, because if I'm an agent and I have the best systems in the world, I have lead generation and I have training, why would I not go this route? Because now I'm actually getting rewarded for the value that I'm providing downstream. Like, it's no different than the model from 10 years ago. It's just now, instead of that company taking all the money and then using it to pay themselves, they're taking half that money and giving half of it back to me. So I can have way more money. And then it's just a win-win-win scenario. That's what I love about it. It's like everyone is winning, whereas before one person was winning in the older model. Yeah.
It's funny too. One of the guys in our program, he's a little bit more behind the scenes. He actually opened up a new brokerage called like Cloud Realty, similar model. It's like I think that like that's the thing about the RMT community is like a lot of network effects, a lot of use cases. People are gonna start, using different things. Like if someone has big ambitions to like start up brokerage, I know this of course is not an easy thing to do. They could use this and make their own incentive structure to grow that way. I've even had that's why like I love the community and mastermind models because there's so much groupthink and like there's so many like the network effects really kick in. Like for example, I had one of the clients on one of the coaching calls mention he basically went to someone and what he did was he went to this big brokerage, right? And then we talked about this yesterday on a coaching call. And I think for a lot of people watching this right now, it's probably going to be super advanced, but like he went to a big real estate broker and they had like hundreds of agents, right? And he's like, look, if I can just set up for you, because they had like no tech stack and they really just like had everything over a mess. And he's like, he basically went up to them and like there was like, I think, there's a lot of agents in this guy's brokerage. And he was like, I'll help you set up a model where all of your agents get their own CRM and they all get their own website and they get everything. And he used UpHex, which is like, like the go high level plugin for Facebook ads. They got set this all up for you. And, he got them to sign up for it under the affiliate link, which is like, of course, that's really good money anyways. But the big thing he made them do is he made them sign up under his, partner up with the EXP. And he made it in a way where that broker, it's now like, all the agents like pay him from a white label SaaS model from high level. And that unlocked a whole different stream of revenue for him. And like, it's like he's doing that now. And like he's doing outbound. Like there's so many use cases, right? But like that's another thing that, is huge. I don't know if you've thought about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like even plugging in the affiliate income from Go High Level is like a whole nother layer of revenue. And one thing I want to share too is like I'm not sure if you've ever done too much research on like the big EXP teams, but I spent a whole day the other day where I was just like looking at their model and see what they did for agent attraction. And I found this one really big team where literally it's all in their Facebook ad library. He runs a webinar funnel of teaching agents how to get more deals every single month. And then he brings them in and basically shows them what an REMC product is, except instead of paying for the EMC product, what you do is you join his downline.
Yeah.
So it's like agent attraction, and then the RMC product is like the perfect fit. And that's what I love about this space right now is marketing is really having its come up in the agency world because it's the real estate world because it's 2023. It's about time people start using Facebook ads to grow their business, right?
Yeah, the marketers are going to take over. I mean, I think that it's too early. Like, I think a lot of people that get it will make a crap ton of money in the next 5 or 10 years. Like, I think the marketers, they use their skill sets. Like, I'm going to be doing this too. I'm actually in the process of getting my license right now. But I think anyone
Nice.
that's like, like someone like you, right? Like, you're already crushing it. And we'll get into that shortly and we'll go away from this topic. But like, maybe, 60, 70K, I think already in a month. Like, you got that case study, like you can start going to people that are not EXP, be like, look, I'll help you build your own consulting business and you bring your whole team and downline into you bring your whole team into my downline or your whole brokerage. I'll help you make money as a real estate marketer or a coach consultant. And in turn, I'll set up a model with you where all your agents pay you. Like, I think that what I've always stuck by is like the gains come from the innovation in the industry. And I think that, the marketers are going to start taking over and like, a ton of innovation is going to happen. Right. So, yeah.
I want to say with innovation, like I think a big thing that this space has been lacking, like about the real estate industry, is it's very secretive. Like I've found it's been like that for the past, and obviously I'm young. I don't know. I've only been in realtor for 2.5 years now, but just knowing how this industry operates and the traditional models is whenever you have like a top team and that person's doing really, really well, if you want to get access to their information, you have to basically be on their team. And if you join their team and then you leave, you're all of a sudden like a villain to them and they hate you. But because this whole uh area is so secretive, where like the top producers, because the thing about this industry is like 87% of people fail in their first 5 years. And really pretty much in any market, the top 1% is doing like all the deals. Like if
Yeah.
you're in the top 1%, like we know everybody. Like it's always the same names on the listing contracts and the same purchase contracts.
Yeah.
The thing about this industry, there's such a shortage on knowledge on how to do the whole real estate transaction process. Because even this morning, I had a lead who I asked him if he wanted to. I'm just like following up with my leads through text, and he says 3 months is too short of a time frame for a lead. I need sooner. And in my mind, I'm just going through I'm like, this is a licensed real estate agent. And he thinks 3 months is too long of a time frame for somebody to convert. It just goes to show that there's so much miseducation in this industry. And I think marketers have a huge advantage because we're communicators. We can package up all this information and leverage that because people will come to us. Like you said, it's about attraction. And I think that's really where I'm trying to head in. Is like I want to build a very, very heavy like training program because people need this. And if you can, and there's going to be so many mechanisms, whether it be training, leads. It's like you said, it's all about innovation, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like that, thinking like an entrepreneur. I think, what I really want to talk about near the end of this is like thinking, almost past like just taking even a step back from real estate and like just thinking about the skill set of like understanding marketing in general. Like, well, of course, tie it back to real estate, but like building enterprise value and like the 5 or 10 year plan. Like, here's how I think about it. But I think now I do want to shift into like the questions for client acquisition, right? Now, of course, like we teach a lot of things inside of, I know I don't want this like the interview to almost even like be really about REMT launch, but like it's almost like value. But I think, a lot of people in the coaches, consultants, agency space, they definitely struggle with getting appointments, right? Like that's like the main thing. You see all these ads every single, now and then, like coaches, I'll book you XYZ appointments or, XYZ, whatever it is, like guarantee, right? So outbound works, and we did outbound, but outbound is definitely difficult. So you scaled using paid ads, which is something we recommend for everyone to scale with. And walk me through your process with paid ads. Like you're crushing it with them right now. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I actually haven't even done a single bit of outbound because I just don't like it. It works. I think anybody who comes into this program will get success with outbound, but you really have to make that leap of, trading your time to taking that time and saving it and then taking that money and just going to paid ads. Because yeah, with paid ads, like I literally just went straight into it. And there's a lot of great resources in the course section too about like best practices, scripts. I literally just all I did was I looked around, and because I'm a realtor myself, I get bombarded with these ads every single day. I looked at the ones that actually caught my attention. I saved them all like sales letters in in a folder of the ones that I really liked. I just rewrote everything to the way that I thought was better to myself. I recorded them, put them on Facebook, and immediately I started getting leads right away. I don't remember I can show my lead costs and everything if we need to, but yeah, like I think a lot of students who are going to get into this really like if you're not going to take it from Prab or not from me, like just at some point you have to understand paid media is how you scale, because there are so many agents in every market, and we're pretty good at picking up our phones, but you have to differentiate yourself, and differentiating yourself isn't going to be done by doing exactly what everyone is doing. Because this morning I have like three cold emails in my email inbox about somebody saying, hey, you want leads, and like they don't know me, they don't realize that I run my own lead generation program. It's garbage. I'm not giving you that attention. But if you can create a good ad, right, and like there's a whole community of people like me and other people here too who can show you how to do that, there's no shortage of leads. Like the coolest thing about this industry is that realtors are selling shelter. It is a fundamental need. People need it. The product is so good, it's a need. And every realtor wants more leads. Like there's not a single realtor. And if they don't want more leads because they don't have enough resources, they have an amazing problem. You can probably make more money by helping them solve that. But it's like everybody wants this product. The key is how do you get that attention? And paid media is the fastest way to scale. Like I don't really know how else to put it other than that. It's what got me to the level I'm at. It's probably how I'm going to get to the next level as well too. So
100%. Yeah, I think it's just attraction versus chasing, right? Like that's all it is. You gotta attract. And let's talk about the level you're at, because like I think that's impressive. Like I don't know how long you've been inside of REMT launch for 2 or 3. I don't know how long it was, but like Tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what's the results you achieved so far, and like revenues and all that kind of stuff? Because from my understanding, you don't even have a setting team, right? Like, you don't have like a call set, and you're still crushing it. Which that's something that we definitely need to get you on ASAP. Like, you should get like even at the very bare minimum of VA calling your leads. But tell me more about
Yeah.
the level you're at.
Yeah. So the way I started the program was I got in, I think it was either January or February, and I just followed everything in the course module, just kind of seeing how everything works. And I absorbed the framework and I was like, okay, time to run some ads because I didn't want to do outbound. I was at the time I was still really busy running our residential company. And yeah, I got leads, but funny thing is I'm what I call a lazy closer where I never called any of them. I just took the scheduled appointments. I'm the lazy closer, right? And out of the those appointments, I had a guy from Toronto, really awesome client now. He loves us, and another one as well too from Washington. And then so I had the other one was in Washington. Both of them were Toronto. First two were from Toronto, and then those two both closed. So that was 18. And then I had to take a break because the residential company was doing really well, and we needed VAs. So I kind of took a side there, spent like 3, 4 months or whatever, just kind of organizing the operations there. And I came back at the end of April and I was like, okay, I'm going to go heavy this May. I'm just going to, I spent 3 grand in May. Like I check all my numbers. I spent 3 grand in ad spend and that gave me 67,007 in a contract, like all contractually like clients. And yeah, for me, like I was looking at the ROAS, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like I spent 3 grand, I made 67. My monthly expenses too are like 793. It's really, really low. So I'm like running this like 98% margin business here. And I'm just, this is awesome. Like I should probably keep doing this. And yeah, I think it's crazy because I did that only off scheduled calls. Like I had people who were reaching out, people who were replying to things, but I'm just so busy where I'm just really operating at my capacity within this business. And yeah, those are the results I got. And I really think a big part of it, though, if I'm being honest, is because I know my avatar so well. Like I came into May not really knowing much about sales, and I just like consumed a bunch of sales videos and trainings and did everything I can to really understand people. And that helped a lot. Like just asking questions, the right questions, of course. But at the end of the day, I think when people talk to a realtor who, and I have my own success too from our own company to show, it's kind of like an offer so good they can't refuse. So
Yeah, 100%. I think that, like your success rate is like it's crazy because like that ROAS is like, I mean, I think the first time we ran ads, like we did not do the as well as you did. And of course, a big part of it is like your avatar, like you understand and you also are your avatar, which helps a lot, right? I think, over time people can start to emulate sort of stuff that you're doing, especially with case studies. But like for you, it's just like that trust factor's just there, right? So um, yeah, I mean, I think for you, definitely like getting setters will be like you could honestly you probably would have done even more revenue if you had like setters there. But I think the next step would be getting to that point. Like I definitely like if it's working, like just keep doing more, like rip up cash flow from the business, scale more, take the sales calls, right? Accumulate a lot of capital, and then get into the commission only sales team, build that out, and then build a setter team, and scaling from there. I think on the back end, the main thing is really just make sure you keep everything lean. Like that's what I've always seen. You're doing consulting or done for you right now?
it's a hybrid right
Hybrid.
now.
Okay.
But most of my clients are done for you though. That's
Got it.
fine.
Got it. Yeah, I think eventually getting to that consulting model would be a good move, especially when you start ramping up ads. I think you'll be able to retain really high gross margins. And then, like I think that with every level of skill, there's gonna be different problems. Like for example, get the sales team into play, and then that's managing them. And then of course, ads will get a little bit more expensive. So you have to, start working on the ad, creatives weekly. Like that's just stuff that's part of the run of the game. But in the end of the day, like I think what you've done is awesome. I think for the last 10 or so minutes here, I do want to talk about like what's next for you. Like let's just say you're doing like 70K a month right now and you want to get into like the next level. Of course, scaling paid ads and scaling appointments is really where it's at. But what else have you thought about? What's next for you?
Yeah, the way we're running this right now is every single Friday. So just a few hours ago, we did our weekly coaching call, and today we had like 12 people in the room, and we're all just talking about how to close the leads, because that's what I've always found has been the big gap in this market, being somebody as a realtor myself too, is that there are a lot of lead generation providers out there, and we could say that, some are better than others for whatever unique mechanism they have. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what quality the lead is if they don't know how to close it. And I find that majority of realtors are average realtors, of course, and they don't know how to turn strangers into closed clients. So Sagar and I have kind of been, it's almost like a double win effect where we're building like this massive training program within our REMC. And that's also leveraging because we can use that within our own residential business and everything. So it's like I'm working on one business, but the effects are also multiplying in the other business. So both me and him are doing this now where we're almost running basically like it's almost like a cohort where all of our clients, they learn from start to finish, like how do you get a lead in the CRM and turn them into a closed client? And we want to build that out as like a value add to our lead generation because it's not just leads, it's training as well. And I really want to, like, my goal is like, I want to take this to 100, like at least 100 clients, and then just keep going from there and see how big I can get this. And, as we were talking about earlier too, with like all these other opportunities in cloud brokerages, there's so
Yeah,
much to do there. It's endless. And that's what I learned about in the agency world too. Is like I had clients back then who were realtors, and some I'd give leads and some I'd give leads, and some of them would double their packages, and the other ones would say, "Oh, these leads are garbage." And I was like scratching my head, wondering what's the difference. And it's the sales training, and I just love
accountability.
this model too.
Yeah.
It's such a good model.
Yeah, I think that the way I like to think about this stuff is like not like I was like pursuing businesses with network effects is like those businesses are always going to be better, right? The community element of it has a network effect. There's going to be different use cases, right? And I think over time, like I'm just gonna like start, giving some examples here. Like I like to think about, okay, how can we increase the lifetime gross profit per customer, right? If we look at everyone from a perspective of like just customers in and of itself, um, like if you, of course, licensing, right? So like they want to stay a part of the community. There's a lot of reasons people renew, but more like often than not, they're going to renew with you for like they got results, right? Now, results is typically you can quantify, or you can see what results are. They can be qualitative or quantitative. Like they can be like, oh, community and stuff is results. I'm getting good value, but like, and people will renew for that. Don't get me wrong. But the biggest result is like they got to make money with you close deals. So there's a licensing component of it. Like, hey, if you stay with us, we won't take on any other agents in your area. And that will like, that's what really gets you to like the multiple six figures a month, even pushing even 7 figures a month, right? Like that's what will get you there. And that will be helping that. I think that's definitely something to really look into. That's like a non-negotiable for licensing. I think that, pushing all the agents and your clients to coaching calls will be huge. And then for client success, what we found out was accountability is the main thing. Yes, you can always make your product a little bit better and you can do different things, right? Over time, when you get more capital, you can invest in a better R&D team and product team. But what we found out was, accountability is like the main thing. That's the biggest driver of client success. So having folks in the back end that can help with that. And then if we look at from a perspective of like how to build real enterprise value, you want to have a recurring element to it, right? So like that's why I've always recommended, like if you can, and I would recommend, you will inevitably you're gonna get to like hundreds and hundreds of clients. I'll tell you that right now, right? Like you're gonna get there, and at the rate you're going, and if you can charge like a monthly recurring fee for like a CRM, like you can justify a little bit further and say like, hey, $97 a month. You're gonna get the CRM. You're gonna also get a website template. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get an open house tool. You can make it more valuable, but like adding that element in will build a lot of enterprise value. Like, I used to talk to a guy. I talked to the founder of Bold Leads, and I knew him, and I knew like their CFO for a long time. We worked with him, and we had advisory, and our company would have been worth way more. I mean, millions more if we just charged our clients. And I made a YouTube video on this, right? Like it's crazy how much we missed out, millions, right? So I think that that's something that you should definitely consider, the licensing and the monthly recurring. And last but not least, is there a quadratic growth element to your business, right? So quadratic is like, of course, I don't know why my Siri went off.
I'm glad to hear it.
So like the quadratic growth of it is like, I look at it from a perspective of like, So then, of course, the downline, it grows on its own, right? And that's enterprise value too, because you can exit it, right? But like, that's the first thing that I look at. The second thing is, if your clients are paying you $97 a month, right, you can tack on an affiliate system within high level, which also grows on its own. Probably not that strong. But the last thing is YouTube. YouTube is quadratic. It grows on its own. And, I think that people start off in this space as like a marketer only, but then they realize that like there's so much more to be captured, right? And I mean, for us too, that's all I look at is like in 5 years from now, how can I make my income quadratic? It's growing on its own. Yeah, you accumulate a lot of capital with the actual consulting element, licensing element of it, but can you think past that, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely a lot of high level stuff. I think that if anyone that gets it, they get it. It'll really help them, serve them in a lot of ways. But tell me a little bit more about like so like what's the if anyone's on sort of on the fence for our REMT launch, right? Like a lot of people are, whether they're an agent, whether they're just a 9 to 5, they want to make more money online. Tell me a little bit more about your tips for them. Like how can they succeed? This even applies for some of our customers too who are struggling. Tell me more about some tips.
Yeah, well, I was that person who's on the fence because somebody sent it to me, and I was like, I don't need this because I know how to do all this stuff already. And rather than approaching things with that, like I call it like the banging your head on the wall approach, which I think a lot of realtors do, to be honest, in this business. It's why they take 10, 20 years to kind of get successful. Is that what I like that Prav's done is he's really kind of pioneered this industry and really gone deep into this niche of real estate. And just seeing his blueprint for it really kind of opened up me to have something to work off of because I may not be following certain areas as perfectly as I want, and I might always go off script. But then it's funny because like that one coaching call where I came in and I said, hey, how do I do this part of the call and make it more like this? And then you literally just said, follow the script. And then I went and followed the script and then I did the call and it worked. So I think having, somebody who's actually done it before, I think it's not something you should glance over because I myself feel like I came into this knowing a lot of things, but I learned a lot. So if you don't even have the agency background as someone like myself might have, and you come into here, there is a lot to learn and it's a lot of good stuff and it all works. And I can vouch for that because there's things that I thought I knew better, but then I saw Prab do it and I was like, okay, yeah, clearly he has more experience and I've tested it for myself, did my own split test, it worked. So I'm lucky that I feel like I talked myself into it. And then of course you have an amazing sales team too, which you teach us how to do. So it's like, if they can sell me onto the product, I feel like they're going to teach me how to do that to other people as well too, which is a big part of the success. So I think if you're on the fence, yeah, I vouch for it. It's really good stuff. And I'm an avatar in the industry. I'm an agency guy. I love it. I think it's one of probably the best product out there in terms of this niche. So because I looked at a lot of them.
Love it, love it. Yeah, man, I'm super excited for your growth and what's to come. I think that there's like and if anyone's like sort of like just on the fence, like what's like your couple of words of wisdom for them? Just like they just want to jump on, but like something's holding them back.
Yeah. I'll share a quick story. When I worked in my agency job, the best and highest paying clients were always people in the financial industry or the real estate industry. Like I was doing like cannabis, I did daycares, I did everything. But the people who paid the most were always the people in the finance and real estate space. So real estate is a really good industry to be in because in Canada, it's the biggest GDP. It's just, you're going to find the highest paying clients in here. So if you want to work from home and you want to do something digital, the real estate space is probably one of the better ones to get into because we're selling a human need, right? It's awesome. Like that's the best thing about this. So I would say if you want to do something online, like, yeah, there's a lot of things. There's drop shipping and all those things, but I don't know. I've tested everything and I found that just helping people with high ticket products like houses, I much rather sell or help other people sell houses than help people sell little gadgets that are like $20 where I'm making a $2 margin on it. And I think real estate is the right vehicle to go in. And if you're going to do marketing, why not do both? And this is kind of what real estate marketing is helping agents make more deals. So I love it.
100%, man. Love it. Well, this is an awesome interview and I got value and I think we talked about a lot of high level stuff. So if anyone's an agent watching this right now and they want to work with you, where can they find you? And just tell us your website and information so they can reach out.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about me, it's Will Kabrall, WILLKABRALL. That's on all platforms. And then if you want to learn more about my business, it's nrg.ca. So just nrg.ca. That's our residential company. And yeah, I love talking about marketing. This is my passion. I even have a little license plate here. It says leads. That's what I have on my car. I'm all about marketing. So I'm happy to talk about it all day.
Love it. Love it. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time, Will. And this was really valuable for everyone. So yeah, we'll talk soon. See you, man.